Because the points in the first part are so key, I'm going to actually post this one first. Okay. But you must watch both parts. The cocky are allowed to speak and teach. Some of them pretend to be sabotaged. They are all media whores, expert and export, right? We consider the chi ro, right? The chi, the worldly energy. Energy in the absence of spirit is worldly energy. Okay? The export, the export, the expert, okay, are only are only listened to by fools. Those save yourselves type bitches, or die for a fool's cause, immoral bitches, are incapable of connecting to Ra or the true spirit of the Creator on their own. As it is by Ra's naturally guided way, Pharaoh is the way. The weak that can't accept this or don't fight to the death for Pharaoh, Ra's son, are dogs like their quote-unquote gods, which God is dog backwards, the dog star. They're dogs, because they think that they can self-direct when they do not have true honor or a solid moral system. This goes back to the wordplay around trowel, which has everything to do with building down. I don't have time to cover that, but if you use my method and the codex, the etymology, the linguistics, the phonetics, the lexicon, and so on, I've more than given you the wordplay. The T is the plus, trowel backwards, right? Lower. Okay, lower, the T is the plus, right? They're building down. Of course, the trowel itself has a handle, which is like a phallic symbol, with the part that contains the mortar, whatever it's called, that's spread on the bricks. Okay, this symbolizes that they're building down. Just because they're building up, when it comes to the flesh, doesn't mean they're building down. People are said to have gotten 1.9 inches taller on average since the 1900s. Okay, so people have become taller, but the world is more corrupt. We've had World War I, World War II. We've had technology contaminate society. Of course, society is building down. And that is also the philosophy of the Masons and the hundreds of registered secret societies and privileged ninnies that contribute, groups that contribute to this process. Obviously, if they haven't been screened out for completely defining the process, they're part of the problem, and not part of the solution, which has been narrowed down to the solution for the individual soul since they refuse to accept the truth. Okay. So they think they can self-direct. And they don't have honor or a solid moral system at that. When most people can't even see that live is evil backwards, they are delusional. To live under these terms is to live in a state of delusion. Even, in the absence of being screened out for being uncontrolled and insisting on the truths that I am telling you. Okay. Even Nazi Germany and the Nazi Germans had more logical reasons to live and participate. Technology hadn't made resistance so hopeless. They provoke me, and I have resisted my impulses better than the 2 million or so incarcerated people in America at this point. And certainly better than the pedophile corporate cheaters who are the most to blame for societal ills. How could you not see it that way? When a handful of people own the vast majority of wealth, how could you not see that them and their allies are the most to blame? It's the capitalist system. What do you think? You think it's some poor guy in the ghetto, forced into their culture, living off some handouts in some desperate act of drugged up stupor and stupidity? He commits a crime? Oh, they're to blame. It's stupid. It's stupid to see it that way. Even the guys who wrote the book, Frankenstein. Okay? I have created a monster. He didn't create himself. In vain they have insisted on trying to teach me. I have learned less than how to tie my shoes from them in terms of new ideas and concepts. And I have a college degree, and I've been to some of their martial arts schools. They just wasted my time. I was better off just looking to studying animals myself and coming to the conclusion that I need to stretch and then going from there. All they really taught me is stretching, and then to kind of use my head. Then I had to learn on my own, mind you, to use my head, because they want me to lose my head, and they insist on me doing it their way. The white man and his allies, the big three especially, the Jews, the whites, the Asians, they have a despicable little man inferiority complex when it comes to They must be the coaches. They must be the teachers. They'll teach behind the scenes like Masonic little bitches. Why have a secret society unless you're a fucking coward? Especially in this day and age. What good can you do in secret? I have shown using their own publications. Publications that are published for the governing class and their allies' benefit. And of course, they elevate Western and Eastern bodies. You think these books aren't full of statues that show you these guys' ideas, right? Okay, that's what they do. They say, look at the beta males. Aren't they so beautiful? Aren't they so gorgeous? Aren't they so smart? They are delusional and sickly looking. Even if they start to work out in the gym. That isn't health. That is a technological sickness. That is technological terrorism. You're trying to bully the righteous and bully the sick who haven't built their body in a way that they can truly oppose you. Of course, when they start building their bodies in my way, in the true order of God, the true order of Ra, the true creator, they are seen as a threat to national security because of a bunch of big musclehead bullies can't intimidate them. It's a no-brainer, right? There's no excuse for this kind of treachery. I don't care if bombs go off every day in America. Banning pure Sun Temple, pure masculine martial arts because it has a superior moral code is disgraceful. There is no excuse for it. There is no condition in the entire world where it is ever logical or moral to ban my system and persecute Pharaoh. Never. All right. As 13% of American blacks, they're not as proficient in martial arts as the African martial arts is in the African martial arts societies. Of course, their own books right here in America. This, I believe this guy was a professor, right? Received his doctorate in African history from the University of California, Los Angeles. His research focuses on historical ethnography, which he explores through the lens of African diaspora martial arts. The greatest African martial artists, the greatest martial artists in American history were African martial artists. Not just me, right? It was me, then everybody else, okay? And they didn't achieve anywhere near of what I've achieved. They were in martial arts societies, but their martial arts came from Africa. They're more purely African, and they dominated the opposition. And this book shows you several examples of this. Their dominance is really what created the ban of capoeira. Why ban a martial arts that's inferior, okay? Why not? You want your enemy to fight in a way that's inferior. They banned martial arts and taught him to fight like a Westerner, Western boxing, wrestling, and so on. Why? Because these things have no practical martial art application, no practical warrior application. Okay. And so they showed their physical dominance in the most relevant to traditional martial arts and martial art combat activities, such as sports like basketball and how it shows maneuverability, maneuvering, and boxing, okay? How it shows stick and move, striking, and avoidance. And of course, this is the closest thing to a pervasive percussive art, which means striking. In this new eugenics age, nothing means anything mentally or physical after I say so, after I'm gone. Okay, who's going to pick up the pieces? Some eugenicists and their allies in the gym? Some Eastern martial artists? Who have been accepted not only by mainstream society in the country with the most martial arts schools in the world, but by mental health with their Buddhist perspective. Certainly, that level of complicity disqualifies them. Period. And do we see them coming together as groups and saying, we're against this? No. They are liberal, controlled opposition bitches. All political parties are bitches. Okay, so even Western invention is simply no-brain work. So you beta males are good at science using schools that teach you in the Western fashion, in your own racial, culture and cultural language. So what? And of course, this leads to the Bruce Lee argument, right? It also, Bruce Lee, who's considered by many to be the greatest Eastern martial artist, at least some of the greatest martial artists in American history. Okay, and what was his argument? His argument was your traditional systems are nonsense. You need more maneuverability, and his focus was on striking. So even when you look at their own kind of argument, it leads to mine. So let's wrap this part 2 up right now. you look at these things, right? Compare the average Jew, the Ashkenazi, the Sephardim, Hasidic Jews, their kind of, locks, whatever they call their hairstyles, their yarmulkes, their hats, to the philosophers like Homer. I've shown that in the other video definitively. We look at Hegel and Marx. On record, they were Jews. So there's a lot of people that are Jew-like, and there are people that are on record Jews, and they are the philosophers and the descendants of Jews, right? Okay, they are the vast majority. You'll be hard-pressed to find a single philosopher here that you can effectively rule out as the family member of people that resemble the Jews. Okay? There is a long list. Plato himself. Let me show you this one picture. Okay, Plato himself. This book starts toward the beginning. It starts with a quote that basically all Western history, all Western philosophy. Okay, the safest general characterization of the European philosophical tradition is that it consists of a series of footnotes to Plato. And look how Plato looks. It looks like he's a Hasidic Jew wearing a yarmulke. That is a statue of him. Okay, the jury is out. Philosophy and science. And all Western philosophies come from the people that resemble the Jews, and they elevate them. Jesus is said to be a Jew. Okay? Chomsky, a Jew. Plato resembles a Jew. Hegel, Marx, communism. Rene Descartes, David Hume, Deformé. Swinburne, Wollstonecraft. Right, it's right there, the craft, right? Taylor, Diogenes, Epicurus, Zeno, Plotinus, Augustine of Hippo, Anselm of Canterbury, Al-Chazali, Francis Bacon. I'm sure William Shakespeare as well. I'll have to look at his thing again, but I'm going to end the video series after this. Hobbes, Benedictus Spinoza, Locke, big time. Leibniz, big time. Berkeley, Edmund Burke, Jeremy Bentham, I guess is Johann Gottlieb, Comte, Emerson, Fichte, John Stuart Mill. Of course, this also goes back to the bull, right? This is the bullshit. Baal, Baal, the bull. These are Baal worshippers. They worship the bull, the earth, right? The Baal. Okay? That's their bullshit. Philosophy is half-truth, delusional, beta male, coward bullshit. And I've more than covered my argument when it comes to physiology, physics, evolution. Okay, talking about the different humanoids, the Neanderthals and so on, the Cro-Magnon. Okay, and obviously the Homo erectus, Homo sapiens, and all these other cute little guys that resemble this. We look at it thoroughly. They're holding spears in their pictures, right? Spear fishing. This is the natural direction even before Homo sapiens. Okay, this has been the natural direction for man. Man did not anywhere near prove that man should self-direct, that is the logical assumption, is nowhere near proven that. He's nowhere near proven that the creator of the universe is not the logical assumption. I mean, it's stupid, When they talk about quantum physics and so on, it doesn't begin to, say, this is rather a beginning in space. Well, where did space come from? Genius? I mean, they're stupid. Their argument is so insane. A child could see through it. It's like, your argument is basically that there's no God, that God doesn't need to be necessary, only there needs to be space. Well, where does space come from? Something came first, and it had to be powerful enough to be a creative force. You stupid fuck. It's delusional not to see it that way. There is nowhere near even the semblance of a counter-argument, a viable counter-argument. Yet 10% and growing of America are atheists. How can you be sure of an illogical assumption and then try to force it on us? When it comes to being outside the martial art order, the only logical and non-delusional belief system is agnosticism that defaults with me, my philosophy, my religion, my belief system as the logical direction. A pure Sun Temple order where you have to rise uncontrolled. You have to challenge these people. I did for 4 years. $100,000 challenge. I'm being harassed by representatives from every martial arts school, martial arts system you can think of. Law enforcement, military, government-sponsored systems of hand-to-hand combat. They couldn't find a single person to beat me, even though I was drugged and blinded and kept from food and harassed and stalked, kept from nutritious food. Even now, I'm being kept from water. The water is contaminated. And I don't have time to explain that more. You'll have to put that together.